Hello, and welcome back to another Hopheads review. I'm your host, Dominic, and we have an amazing offering today to review. You guys have probably been seeing if you've been subscribed to the channel, and if you're not subscribed, please go over and hit that subscribe button. But you've been seeing that I've been doing some shorter form reviews, just one sip and a quick score based on our overall scale. Well, when we do these specific long form reviews, I like to break it down according to the style, and it might sometimes take a little bit more of a special beer if I'm just not inclined to do a review on that beer. Well, I have a very special one for you guys today, and I could not wait to do this long form review for another one out of Proclamation, maybe the best Proclamation beer I've had so far. It is Penultimate Unicorn. It is their triple IPA. First triple IPA on the channel. You might be wondering why going so big? Why are we going to such a strong beer? It might not be something that catches everyone's palate. A lot of strong beers can have very strong ethanol bites, or can be overly bitter or overly dark, depending on the style, right? So this is one that I'm really excited to share because of the fact that it might say triple on the can. It might run all the statistics that would put it into the triple category for the BJCP guidelines, the Beer Judge Certification Program guidelines, but it doesn't taste like one. It doesn't drink like one, and that is a very good thing in this particular case. So without further ado, let me get to pouring this, and then we will start the review. Penultimate Unicorn. It just released a few days ago, and the bartender at the brewery, or brew tender, I don't know what brewery tender, he recommended that I don't just get one, because there might not be enough sticking around for me to get another one. So I took his advice, and I got two when I was there. The first one went down so easy, so delicious, and the whole time I was thinking I was going to do a short form review, but it kind of, by the end, it warranted a full review. I want to start off with something silly here before I go into the beer. As you can see, the head is amazing. That collar of foam is just super persistent. It's sitting right at the top of the glass. This is a 19-ounce glass, so 16 ounces here, and then another few ounces just in the collar of foam. And it's got a little off-white color, very, very appealing. The smell is so amazing, but we'll get to that in a second. Let me read this off the back of the can. I found it amusing, and I hope you do too. So it says Penultimate Unicorn, and this is what I'm going to be reading. Enjoy our mini Voltron, a combination of our first three derivatives. They have a line of beers over at Proclamation called Derivatives, where they run the same malt bill, but they change the hops for each one, and you could get Derivative Citra, Derivative Vic Secret, Derivative Mosaic, and the list goes on and on. Haven't had one that was bad yet, so that's already a good sign. 3 full mashes shoved into one batch and crushed with a triple dry hop wombo combo. Very technical terms there, wombo combos. First, a gut punch of Galaxy. Again, the measurements, they're letting us know exactly how much they used. A gut punch of Galaxy. Then a groin kick of Citra. And finally, a super sick finishing move of Mosaic. So there are the 3 hops used, Galaxy, Citra, and Mosaic. And then the question is asked, will you crush the unicorn, or will it crush you? So obviously a little bit of a fair warning there for anyone that doesn't read right up at the top that it's a 10% ABV. So not something you're going to be pounding back a few of. Just want to enjoy one, maybe two. But definitely something very, very special from our friends over at Proclamation. Let's go in on this beer now, because as we can see, it falls directly within that color category. For a single, double, triple IPA, that color should always be right around the same, if not just a little bit darker for the triples or imperial IPAs. This is right around the sweet spot before it goes too dark. It's got a beautiful golden hue, and it is amazingly hazy, very dense with that residual hop oils, which makes the collar, and the fact that it's still sitting up there, that collar of foam persisting so long, is just amazing. Typically, the hop oils, and I don't want to, I can't really get too technical. I'm not completely well versed in the technical terms on it. But what happens is when there's too many hop oils, it kind of creates a different pressure that's needed in the beer, and that'll pull from the heads persisting so long. The beer will still be fresh. The lacing still might persist, but the head itself might be appearing a little flat. We don't have any of that here. Obviously, the fantastic master brewers over at Proclamation have hit this nail on the head, and the malt to hop ratio is such that the head persists beautifully. So that's appearance. It's just out of this world. Now let's go in for aroma. Wow. Okay, so I said it earlier, right? Me opening the can, me pouring the glass, while I was reading this, it's just filling the room with this amazing tropical stone fruit, melon, smells, and maybe a little bit of grapefruit, tangerine. You don't know which fruit it is because it's a roller coaster of aroma, truly. The smell is very appealing. It gets you salivating very quickly, and I'm excited to go in for the first sip. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are. Maybe you're enjoying a beer alongside me. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, and share the videos. Always comment if you guys have anything you want me to review or any kind of content you'd like to see in the future. Okay, enough blah, blah, blah. Let's get a sip. The mouthfeel. I want to jump right into the flavor of this, but we're going to go with our breakdowns. If you're not following on Instagram, head over to the Instagram page. Make sure you follow there. The first video up is the full breakdown of how we do our reviews, why I'm doing the reviews, all that good stuff. But this mouthfeel is spot on. It's spot on. Coats the interior of your mouth and palate perfectly, but it doesn't leave much residual sugars, if at all. And what I do get, that residual sweetness, that little tartness, maybe a little bit of the ethanol bite, but barely any. It's amazing. It's very, very good. I would put the appearance high 8s. I would put the smell high 8s. I would put the mouthfeel low 9s. It is that good. Sometimes when they get this strong, there's too much of the ethanol bite, and it's almost it almost brings about foul tasting or a foul feel in your mouth, where it's too thin or it's not expressive enough. This allows for the full expression of the beer to coat every part of your palate without being too much. So you can go through that wonderful list of hops that we read, and the combination of them and the permutation of them into the beer allows more complex, more diverse flavors to come about. So let's talk about those now as we go in for flavor. It's really, really good. As you can see, the lacing is holding up so well. The freshness of the beer is just in your face. It's one of these beers that, even though it's an IPA, it's brewed with hops, lots and lots of hops. The malt character that they give, I don't know if it's flaked oats, I don't know if it's just the specific two-row malt or light malt that they use, but it complements it gives a base for the hops so perfectly. So you can feel that that's that light, sweet, maybe a little bit of caramel malts, but if any, just to add that sweetness before you get a roller coaster of hop flavor. It starts with a lot of citra. It starts with a lot of light fruit, passion fruit, that kind of flavor. But then it goes into almost grapefruit, pineapple, and then it returns back with very soft melon or stone fruit characteristics. So it's an amazing example of when one of these brewers gets it so on point that the hops aren't lost. You're not drinking a beer with 3 hops in it and only getting 1 or 2. You can really feel how the flavors of the hops complement one another, and they layer over one another. So you want to go in for the next sip. You want to feel that beginning of the roller coaster again and again. This is something that's rare to find, especially in the world of triples. Sometimes this is something I would, call out as one of my favorite parts of a double IPA. And if they're done really properly, even the singles. I'd done the Science Works from WeldWorks on the channel, and that was a really good example of a double that had explosive flavor, something close to this level. But I would say this even takes it a cut above that, where you are just in a wonderful state of questioning the flavor, trying to analyze the flavor, and then another can hit. It's like a really good meal in that way. I'm gonna go in for another. Yeah. And then you also get these things like, see right there, that sip, I didn't get so much of the citra up front. I got more of the grapefruit pineapple right at the front. And it did finish the same way with the stone fruit, the melon characteristics tailing off. We have to remember that the flavor has those 3 layers to them, no matter what the beer, no matter how simple or wildly intriguing and diverse the beer might be with its ingredients, we still have what it tastes like when it first gets on your palate. Then you have that broad flavor of as you're actually drinking it, and then there's the aftertaste. On this channel, we like to separate aftertaste into a different category. I find it so unique and so important to a brewer's science to know what's the flavor that you leave them with. What's the flavor that you want them going back with? Or if they're eating, is the flavor that's left in their mouth going to complement what they're eating, or is it something that's going to be separately enjoyed altogether? Well, this is a beer that has such a great aftertaste that you do want to go in for another sip, but also I could see this pairing really well with some pasta dishes or something on the grill. It has that light effervescence, but at the same time, it's heavy, it's warming. So where does this beer fall on the list of triples? Which isn't something, like I said, that we're reviewing very often. I'm not really reaching for triples because I do like to have, 2 or 3 beers sometimes, and not just the one very powerful beer that's gonna knock your socks off. That being said, the triple category is a very competitive one nonetheless. So when I give this the score of, drumroll please, 9.2 for a triple, I am not exaggerating in the slightest. It is truly that good to me. Again, this is my opinion. I've done the research. I've traveled around the country tasting beers and going to different breweries. So I put in the legwork for you guys. So I hope my opinion is trustworthy to that extent. So that's why the triple category, we have it as its own thing, this overall category. This is the one where you'll know how it stands up against all styles of beers, single IPAs, brown ales, stouts, all the different styles, sours, everything else in one list. That's our overall rating. So this being a 9.2 as a triple, it's high marks. And that overall, I'd say it's an 8.9. And again, very, very high marks. This isn't a soft rating system. This isn't me just throwing numbers out there. I want it to be a very strict and very, I want it to be a rating system that's, that can last, that can stand the test of time. and not have it be altered very often by new and exciting beers coming out. We've got some great breweries around here, Proclamation obviously being one of them. This is the best example of a Proc beer that I've had so far. Penultimate Unicorn, the triple IPA. It's delicious. If you're in the area, hurry up, run over and grab one, if not four, because I don't think they're gonna last much longer, especially when this review comes out, right? But no, in all honesty, it definitely has a lot of special and unique brewing techniques that have been done here, and something that should be valued. I mean, look at that lacing. The lacing's still sitting up all the way at the top of the glass. For a triple, like we said, with all those hop oils, it's not the normal. The flavor, the smell, the appearance, it all comes together to make a great beer, and I can't wait for you guys to comment and share your experiences in this wonderful wide world of beers that we live in. If you haven't already, I'm going to say it again because we're on the road to 50 subscribers. I know 50 doesn't seem like a lot, but once it's at 50, I can do live reviews with you and drink a beer while you're there tuned in, watching alongside. After that, the sky's the limit, and I hope to have guests on and get beers from all over the country, all over the world, to be able to review for you on our very strict and diligent rating scale. So, know that you're loved, know that you're appreciated, and thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to sit down and enjoy another one with you, but on that note, 9-2 for a triple, 8-9 overall, a massive score, and one that I really couldn't wait to come in and share with you on the long form, what I thought the ingredients were as far as the malt. Obviously it's an ale yeast, we haven't gone over that, but obviously it is. It's probably their house ale yeast. It's very special, and the beer finish is very dry. There's not much of a alcohol bite or any stringency at all, if at all. It's almost too smooth. It's dangerously smooth. So there's the review. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you're well. Till the next time, cheers.